Hi, Luminaires. How is everybody today? It's Friday. I hope you're doing amazing. If you are new to the channel, my name is Jamie Butler. I am a medium. I've been doing metaphysical work, trance channeling, readings, teaching, authoring books about subtle light energy and communication with spirit for over 30 years. Can't believe I'm saying it like that, but it's true. It's crazy. Hi, everybody. Hi, Luminaires. Oh, yes. Lumi Shelley is already saying, I wish these were more like Learn It Live where we can actually talk with you. Yep, but YouTube is a wonderful platform in different ways. We have a membership here that has exclusive content that we do. And I want to welcome our new Lumies today. Thank you so much for joining. And in this, we have different tiers. We have the book club, and we gather and talk about books that we read. And if the author has already transitioned, we bring them in and talk about the content with them. And I do a monthly meditation with you, as well as Maitland Trance Channels, a class which is happening this Tuesday based on the crystals and aromatherapy that is suggested for the month in the energy update, which we just did the energy update yesterday. It seems like a week ago already, but you can head over to YouTube and find that content. If you want a full transcript of it, all written out clearly, then go to my website, jamiebutlermedium.com, and sign up for the newsletter. It comes out once a month. It's very clean and beautiful. You know, we don't abuse the rights to just get in contact with you once a month. It's nice and clear. Today, we're wanting to talk about being your essence. So when I wrote the title, I put a question mark behind it. Being your essence? What is this? Because I think it's so much on the radar as it's a part of June's message that Maitland was sharing with us. If you don't know Maitland, Maitland is a spirit guide of mine that is very youthful, comes through chipper, great metaphors, is able to present a lot of deep information, but very fun and playful like. So she was mentioning about how personality is going to start cracking a little bit in June and our essence is coming out. And they were like, we're going to talk. Last week, our YouTube live was the differences between personality and essence. And now it's like being your essence. This is what you're going to be doing in June anyways. So let's talk about it. I put the question mark because I myself am learning about this, though I think maybe I can sense it and feel it on the inside when it's happening and when I'm aligned to who I authentically truly am on the inside. But I don't know how to verbalize it. I don't know how to describe it. So I thought I would open the platform today and allow you to ask questions to Spirit about essence. And unfortunately, like Shelley was saying, this is not our Learn It Live. Our Learn It Live platform is where I normally do my classes. We actually have a trance channeling coming up where we're going to be talking about the separation of reality. That's going to be June 23rd. Spirit will come through and talk to the topic. And in Learn It Live, you can respond back. So it's a wonderful platform. I use it when I teach Reiki. I have a Reiki 1 class coming up as well. That's June 11th. It's coming up quick. So there's so much happening. But today you'll have to put your fingers to the keyboard and use our chat thread and just reach out and ask your question. Like Samantha Pika says, I wish I could join live, but I want to ask. And we're going to open up with her question and we're going to see how it rolls. Is our essence a feeling, resonance that seems difficult to put to words or put words to? I was just saying that as well. Like a fuzzy, comforting feeling of contentment when recognized. So I have my guide Maitland here, as well as a guide named Grace that comes through frequently to answer questions, especially on our YouTube membership where you have Lumi Centered. You can do a Q&A with them. Grace likes to come through and answer your questions. And I have a few other hitters here, and I don't know if they're speaking up quite yet. I can see Archangel Michael. I just kind of invited those who could speak to the point to step forward. And I have 3 others that I'm just uncertain quite yet who they are, but they're here. And so Grace is starting off with a response to Samantha. The essence, is it a feeling like a resonance, like a fuzzy, comforting feeling of contentment when recognized? And Grace shares that it can often be defined as such. She says, but what she would like to add to that, Samantha, is what comes with it is you have a deep knowing of purpose when you're in that moment. You're fully connected. So, therefore, the aspects of you, like your mind and your emotions and your body, aren't communicating to you independently. It's not that your head is thinking one thing and you're feeling something else from another situation or from a memory, and then your body is needing something different than what you're doing. So when you're acting from essence and being essence, she says that your mind, emotions, and your body's needs are met, and you're very present. Not one is speaking out to something different. Hmm, I like that. I can understand that. Oh, thank you so much, Colleen, for posting the Learn It Live classes. Oh, Wendy is sharing the trance channeling classes are amazing. Yes, well, there's trance channeling class where I actually teach you how to do it. We call that approaching trance channeling. If you're interested in learning how to communicate to spirit in that way, I have a new series coming July 3rd. It's 16 weeks, once a week, and that's over on Learn It Live. But then we also have independent like lessons where spirit comes through and educates you directly. And so you can engage with them that way. But if you want to learn how to trance channel, check out Approaching Trance Channeling. I love teaching that class so much. There are so many aha moments in there. I just love it. Kurt Dahlgreen, I love that you are here today. Hi. Will I find my essence at my outing this coming weekend? um, they're all laughing. I hope that's a funny statement, but they're giggling at it. Maitland says you'll find more than your essence and giggles again. Grace's response is yes, that you will. But she says that when you journey in this way to comprehend where you are, it's funny, sometimes I can't look at you guys when I'm listening. So I like look down or look away to hear better. Um, she says that sometimes when you need more connection or comprehension of who you are, sometimes you will pull away like a third perspective and you will observe essence from a third perspective. So not only will you get to experience it, but you'll also see it from a separate viewpoint. She didn't say anything else, and I was like, but there was nothing. Oh, goodness. Intuitive Living asks, could we also call the soul as essence? See, I think so. Like, if you're asking me, Jamie, I would say, yeah. Um, to me, soul is the spirit that we have inside of our body. And when we no longer have our body, then the soul becomes spirit. So that's my little wordplay on it. And then essence. So Grace speaks up. She says hello to you. And she states that it's not as interexchangeable as you're making it to be. Your essence is the truest expression of your soul. So if I'm hearing voices from like all directions right now. For instance, you're using the word soul like a noun, like this is a crystal. And so when we label it like that, like a proper like noun descriptive word label, that it has boundaries and a place and this is how it acts and performs. But what could we call this crystal if it were in action or engagement and expressing itself? Like not just the crystal, but if we were including its energetic field and the information that was in it and how it was being with others. So for her, she's describing that essence is not truly a straight up noun and a hard definition. It also has action or verbs within it. Oh my God. Like, I need another human here to go, sure, Jamie, that just made sense. So I'm going to scroll. So we'll probably come back to this as I'm hoping you're going, huh? And asking a little bit more. And I know there's a delay on YouTube. So, yes, it is our soul, but it is the expression of the soul. But essence isn't necessarily just a noun or just a verb. Like, there is a mix of it together. Intuitive living. I hope that helped you. Hi, Kathy Sylvester. So nice to have you here. Anne Sylvester says, is essence more aligning with your true self or not filtering yourself as much? Resounding yes on this side. It is an alignment of you, but not, oh gosh. You know, there's sometimes I just so wish I could have like an artist here and they could do those cute little drawings of the things I see in my head, but they would have to be plugged into my head to see it. It is an alignment, but it is not an alignment through your personality. When you're using your personality, you're going to be using strategies and tactics like being triggered or being called to be responsive or defensive, not out of self-preservation, not out of physical harm. They're talking about if you hear something said to you and you rise to the occasion, oh, and defend it and, get triggered by it, that is when you are in alignment with personality. So you have to recognize when you are aligning with true self and not aligning through strategy or personality or indoctrinated belief systems. So Maitland says, because first and foremost, you have to scratch your beliefs away. And I get that image, when you get the lottery tickets and you grab the penny and you scratch the film off of it and then you see what's really there. But before you scratch it off, you couldn't see anything. It's like we've got to scratch it off around us and our energy. Oh my God, that reminds me of one of the healings we did over on Learn It Live when I was doing remote Reiki with some of you. And this entity came in and showed me how to rub off the film on your chakras and like get into the tiny vortexes that make up your chakra and pull them and rub them out. Like her image of scratching that lottery ticket just took me right back there. So yes, scratching off the belief systems first. And if you can identify the difference between true self and personality, strategy, indoctrinated belief systems, then Grace is agreeing that you understand it and that you got it. Anne is saying, hi, Michael. It's a little trippy to have his energy here. It's not really energy that I call forth. I don't say it in my intent. I do say my angels, guides, friends, and relatives, but I don't pinpoint him out. And he just has this way of showing up. I know he's worked with Maitland a lot. Oh, these are beautiful questions. It just jumped. I hate when it does this. KDP says essence and authenticity seem they could be used interchangeably. No? Grace says yes. And then again, she says you must take the time to learn what it means to be authentic. And she says, and that takes time with oneself. Even approaching challenges that people may not want to experience, such as dimming down their light that connects them to their environment so they can shine stronger on the inside to get to know who they are here before understanding who they are within their environment, what titles, what roles. Often this means to be silent or quiet with oneself. It's a very mindful practice. And then you can begin to see Here's where I want to call the illustrator and have him paint something again. Here's where you can begin to see I'm going to describe this picture in my head as like in water, where we have in the ocean, we have the waves that come in, the ebb and flow, the tide, but there's also a rip current underneath, and it goes in a completely different direction. But most of the time when people stare at the ocean, they're really looking at how the waves are coming in and out and the height of the water and the shallowness of the water, because it's very apparent. But this undercurrent can shift and change things dramatically. So when you're quiet and you're inside, you're not just paying attention to the waves coming in and out. You get to be intimate with the undercurrent, where you can understand, why are you being the way that you are, and where did it come from? Because not everything of who you are comes from yourself. Okay, I have to say that one again. Not everything of who you are comes from yourself. Maitland says, because you're taught. You're taught to be rather than allowed to be. Just in our culture right now, we're teaching how to be. There are more and more parents coming forward, allowing their children to be more rather than teach them. So that's going to provide a shift. That's interesting. It is scrolling again, like all on its own. Tanyan, we're going to stick to questions about essence today. Anne says, I think we would all like to know the main feature of our essence individually. Maybe that way we're not confused. Main features. Grace is speaking up again. And she says that main features it's a very 3D human question, like giving directions to a certain location. It's very linear. And the response to what you're asking about is not very linear. And so in responding, it's going to sound a little scattered. But since you're asking about what the features are, Maitland's interrupting. She said, when you think about your incarnations and you think about your presence inside, or your essence inside each of the incarnations, but there's no linear time frame. It's almost like time is in the round and everything is happening at once. When you stand in the center, if you have 360 camera on, you see everything happening at once. That's how it is. So the features is being connected to every version and part of yourself. Another feature would be that you are ever fluid and flexible, that you are not, as humans are, very maintained within a certain like dimensional bandwidth. We're 3D beings. Actually, we're like 5D beings. We have thoughts, emotions are multidimensional. They're not adhering to 3D confinement. So we have a little bit of that going on, but how we show up and behave, we're super, super focused on that 3D element. That's shifting more right now as we're going through a little bit of a spiritual bump, or that evolution, where we're not going to be so focused on all the 3D stuff. We're going to be more focused on this mindful and emotional frequencies, sound healing. All of this sound doesn't adhere to 3D, cause and effect. So that's shifting. But if you understand that that is a core feature, and that your essence that is connected to all of your lives is, again, can I call the illustrator? Your essence is never wounded or damaged or bruised. It doesn't need fixing. So when you are thinking that something needs fixing on you, whether it's vicious thoughts, how you feel, whether it is um, I have no idea what's flying overhead, but that is a big craft. Shook the building. Um, I'm like a kid. I'm like, what is that out there? So, um, oh my God, I just totally blinked. Fill me back in. Where were we? Defining differences between 3D and 5D that were coming out of it. That when you look at your essence, know that it is completely healed. It has nothing that needs fixing. So if you think physically you're too big or too thin or not shaped right, that is a 3D connection. You're not coming from your essence, you're coming from your personality, you're coming from traits. So that would be one of the features. Oh, goodness. Vanessa, thank you so much for the financial love. Kiara, Angels on the Plane. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Yes, Vlad does a great job in reminding me, saying, if you like this kind of content, give it a thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe. There's all those kind of things too. I'm just happy that you're here and we're making community and talking to spirit about what essence is. Okay, I'm scrolling back. Um, Unica Phoenix says, there are people that can bring you back to your essence. Is longing for a person also longing for your own true essence? There are people that can bring you back to your essence. There are people who are trained, and maybe this might be through hypnosis or this might be through other techniques. But yes, there are people who can help you in that journey and get you back. And then, is longing for a person also longing for your true essence? Um, no. Okay, so I'm a little confused because I think I personally would go, yeah, I can totally see that, Unica, that because we're all one, if we're longing for something, then we're looking for a part of ourselves. Because I know when we see somebody and we're triggered by somebody, it's really about the work that needs to be done within us. And that whenever somebody is speaking up and sharing their opinion or their insights, they're really sharing something about themselves. So when you ask that, I wanted to go, yes. Um, She says, when you're in your true essence, there is no longing. Okay. That's a lesson that my humanness wasn't like my humanness was getting in the way of. When you're in your essence, there is no longing. And she also says that time feels different when you're moving from your true self, your authentic self and essence. Time behaves differently. The way that you express yourself is differently. There's no longing, there's no need to fix anything, there's no deficit, there's no scarcity. It is this kind of perfection. There's no fear. Okay, that's good. I was reading. Um, Kathy, is it a distillation of our true soul? I don't know the meaning of distillation. So I rely on spirit to respond to this. um, Maitland, she said, if your definition of distillation is accurate, then yes, you could say it in that way. That would work for you, and that would help you hold a placement to giving it some order so that you could know where it is and connect to it more. Oh, Elise, such a cool question. Okay, is our essence really drastically different from incarnation to incarnation? I'd like to know. No, it is not that different. What the environment around that incarnation provides to you is what shifts the awareness of that essence or the expression of the essence. So, environmental factors just kind of reminds me of like environmental allergies. In this life, I'm allergic to apples. In this life, I'm allergic to pollen. It was like essence in every incarnation is the same. I have a question. Is essence the same thing as higher self? Like when you mentioned having a camera on your head and seeing 360 and seeing all of your incarnations, I imagine that's what higher consciousness is. Because when we rise up into higher consciousness, we can link to all of our other lives. So the answer is a most yes. Like think of it like an 80% yes. But obviously, I've got this little gap here that I'd like to figure out. Um, that little gap is higher consciousness is almost like your own private Akashic record, like the access of all the information, the records, the experiential part of. Essence is the expression of. Essence has a verb to it in there. Like I loved how Grace said it's not just a noun, it is a noun, but it has verb like qualities of engagement. Shelly Ham says, Maitland, does your essence change and evolve as you evolve as a person? She says, nope, it comes in whole. It doesn't need anything, she says. Wow, that's kind of mind blowing because we always think, I do at least, I don't mean to put you in my bucket. I think that to learn, I have to grow and to be better, to get somewhere else, to reach a different level and higher, whatever. It's very linear, I know. Shh. The voices in my head, be quiet. But this is how my human brain does it, okay? Um, so when you talk about essence, not needing any of that because it's absolutely whole, it's just our awareness of how we connect to it. And then when we end up in it, because when we end up in it, we realize we don't need anything, and time reacts differently, and then we don't long for missing pieces or another or to change a situation. Like everything is really peaceful. It's in harmony. It's in agreement. That kind of blows my mind to think that I am carrying this light within me that is just, in human words, perfect. Maitland just looks at me, puts her hands on her hips, and goes, yep. Okay, yippers. Oh, it's scrolling. Um, oh, I know, Kiara, you just said, please, can you repeat that? But I have no idea what you needed repeated. But thank God it's recorded. Oh, if you're hanging out, just as a shout out to this Memorial weekend, that we're going to run a discount on our charts. It's a buy one, get one free. So if you are ever wanting one of these, but there's too much great information on either side, you can get two for the price of one. We're going to run that through Memorial Weekend, and then we'll start shipping on Tuesday. And I do believe we're going to be doing international orders. Finally, oh, I really like people know you can't buy it. So it's working now. Okay. I was doing that because it was poking in my back. Is essence eternal because it's fluid? Asked Katie. That's a resounding yes. It is eternal. Everything is eternal. Sheldon says, Jamie, we're connecting my your exact question on higher self. I got you, Sheldon. I mean, after so many book clubs, it's like our brain is kind of one now. Amber, if essence doesn't have longing, then why do we come into bodies to experience? Aren't we in our essence when we make this decision, or is it all past life personality? No, it's not all past life personality. You know, we also have future life personalities too, because time isn't linear, but that's not the point. It is not, oh, break my head. Let's call the illustrator again as we talk about this image I have in my head. Um, Essence doesn't have longing. So why do we come into the bodies to experience? Grace says, we come into the bodies to do just that, to create experiences, to see the many sides of expressing love. And she says, not many places provide such extreme experiences, such as Earth does. Um, Earth we hold and care for. And she said she doesn't want you to mistranslate what she's saying right now, because there is no good and bad. But on Earth, we care for both the health and well being and the destruction of health and well being. And that large bandwidth of frequencies gives us an array of experiences and choice and leadership. So, essence exercises itself through different incarnations to explore who it is. It's like trying on different Maitland. It's Maitland says it's like trying on different outfits in your closet each time you incarnate. You're trying on a different outfit and seeing how it works with you, how it aligns with you. But you're also exercising the strength of your mental body, emotional body, and physical body, as these are all under free will. So that free will is that co-creation that you provide to your essence and being in incarnation. And you can shut them off, not allow them to believe in internal essence, but you can rewire them to then believe that the power is outside of you, and to then start taking on direction from otherly to find self. And that, back to Grace, and that kind of challenge, that kind of experience is what is valued for those who choose to incarnate. Does that make sense? Sound like Maitland. Does that make sense? Cool. Tina, you love the chart. Thank you. I still use it all the time, and I created it. It's like it is my thing, my go-to when I look at energy and frequency and vibration and sound and aromatherapy. Oh my gosh, because it has everything. And then on the back, I put all about the endocrine system and what each gland does, because there's not a lot of conversation about our physical glands, how they align with our chakra system and what they do. And then I put my favorite stones and my favorite aromatherapy and what you can do with them. But it has the spin, the color, the location, the sound, the endocrine gland, the qualities, stones, aromas, affirmations, verbs. I mean, everything. Complementary colors to the side. It's just something I like to look at because it's so organized. And my lovely friend Marla Zaft organized that. Zaft Designs, incredible. Yeah, right? Essence, Elise says, seems to be like an energy signature that's always a constant. Yes. Kiara says, how can we help our essence to emerge? Ooh, like clear it out, like do the scraping. Maitland says, so many ways. She's being very funny about this, but I get it. Um, all the sayings we do, like choose happiness. I say it all the time. I say it. Choose happiness. Laughter heals. Go giggle. Put a smile on your face. And then there's those people who say glass is, there's people out there that say the glass is half full or the glass is half empty, but it's going to be what you believe it is. So Maitland is really chatty and talking about aligning yourself to that which brings you joy. That's the quickest way to get to essence. Get rid of the things that feel like a burden. And then when Grace is jumping in, she says, making that choice of getting rid of those things that create burden, you're going to come across a place where you need to decide, why is that bothering me if I let go of it? Why am I even doing it to begin with? Who was I doing it for? Was I doing it for cultural approval or society approval? Was I doing it because this was my dad's favorite thing? Was I doing this because this is what my marriage needed of me? Or this is what my children were asking? Or I felt this is what my children needed, so this is why I did it. The world, Maitland's talking now, the world doesn't need to work in this manner. You can simply align yourself to the happiness and the joy, and that would help you get to your essence a lot quicker. There's a Grace is talking. There is a false belief wrapped around that if you are happy, you are selfish. That if you are happy, you're egocentric. That if you're truly enjoying life, that you're doing something wrong. And that is not the case. If you're truly happy, you're going to have enough energy and light to share with others and uplift others to find their joy. Malu, I'm enjoying being served with gorgeous weather and lovely friends and family with a corona on the beach of Mexico. Is that following my joy or is that something else? That's following your joy. And you're expressing your joy in a very like human way with a corona on the beach, location, environment, taste. You're using your senses. So Anne saying, I chose my job because I love the challenge. I loved the challenge. I love to challenge my mind in spite of my essence of being different, I guess. I think I'm born to be a counselor. I would agree. Shillingham said, so it doesn't matter what you choose to do in an incarnation, like be a criminal or monk. Those are, yes, those are for a life lesson, not who you are at your essence. Yes, because all the frequencies are valued on earth. And Grace says to speak to that point that both of those lessons are equally valued, Shelley. One takes a denser quality of vibration and frequency to co-create. Another one takes a higher frequency to co-create. Um, Call the illustrator, people. Now, Grace is trying to be very careful not to have denser mean bad or negative, and have higher frequency meaning good or positive. So just keep that in mind. She's describing, though, when you co create with lower densities, there is not more room to explore lower densities, um, because your essence can't thrive within denser, slower, lower frequency. But essence can survive because we're talking about human bandwidth here, like our existence on earth. But our essence is more than who we are on earth. The bandwidth at the top of human existence, essence can go way past that and thrive in much higher frequencies. It's a little difficult to talk about in this way, only because we are putting that lower, higher. It feels like a chart that's very human, and we're putting labels and descriptive words on it. So imagine that it's not as defined and it's a little bit more flexible. So if you were to choose monk life, reflective. So Kiara, another thing that you could do besides following your joy would be mindfulness, compassionate communication, being kind, being loving. All of that has a higher frequency, and those live and exist beyond human bandwidth. So essence can carry those lessons forward. Oh my God, I feel like I'm talking myself in circles, guys. I'm pointing fingers to everybody. I should be pointing them at myself. Grace told to be, oh, by the way, Grace told you to choose a counselor. Yes. Amber, I would love to be a monk. Hi, Christine. Hi. I would love for you to rewatch. We are just asking questions to Spirit about what is essence. I think I gained a lot of insight on it. We'll take a few more minutes on this and see what you have. Will Devante 444, will blending more with my guides bring me closer to my essence? Not necessarily. Maitland just goes, nope. Sometimes she's just a little too direct. Nope. So I said, okay. Why? You could be blending with your guides, talking with them, communicating with them, getting messages because you need answers to your human life, to feed your personality or to feed your ego or some other reason that's not really fulfilling to an essence. So geez. Though it might require you to have a different perspective to be able to communicate with them, and that in and of itself is going to be changing you. Is it going to bring you closer to essence? Not necessarily. If you're not doing it out of joy and happiness, if it's not feeding the core of who you are and you're doing it to perform to others, then it's going to take you away from your essence because you're using it as a strategy and a tool to get attention or fulfill the wounds that you feel that you've created in childhood or that were given to you, like in victimhood. But if you were doing it out of no need whatsoever, because the essence doesn't require anything of you, then that could help you understand it more. Is our essence different from spirits? The way that we're looking at it here in our conversation, says Grace, yes, because we are highlighting the individual essence of like each person. Like, I wish I could show you. It's like a water drop, but each little cell in the water drop is a completely new life. But the water drop is essence. And then each little cell inside of it is a life that's living, all your incarnations, all the expressions of you, but they're contained by your essence. And then if we pull back more, your essence is a single cell that is inside another water bubble because we're all part of one. But the journey and the joy of the exploration of it are these incarnations and these experiences. Makes my mind hurt. And I think I see human and the soul or essence as two separate entities. And I see the human needing the healing, the projection, etc. The soul takes over only sometimes, but the rest, I live as a human. Yes. Grace says the concept of talking about it now is because we are spiritually evolving. timestamp this. If you want to come back, this is why we're talking about this topic. I'll try to put this in the description. Go to marker 45. Why we're talking about this is because the human evolution on Earth at this time stamp, this slither of time, we're evolving so quick. And if we're able to make decisions based on who we authentically are from our essence, beginning in the month of June 2022, this evolution is going to move a lot quicker. So Maitland says, it's not like you're dumping or breaking up with your personality. You can still be you and who you are because that's what you signed up for. But when you are truly present with someone and you're agreeing to be in something, an agreement, a commitment, a marriage, a job, a relationship, a conversation, an exchange, be extremely present and make those choices from your essence. So if you need to walk away because you don't want to have the conversation anymore, you do so. It's not self-indulgent. You will be highly aware, if not more so now, of being able to meet another person's needs, of being able to express kindness. This is not a manipulation of your exterior environment to get exactly what you need. It is not a manipulation of any sorts, but it is feeding your essence to be bigger and stronger so that it can participate in this incarnation that you're having in this time sliver. There you have it. There you have it. Oh my gosh. All right. I told myself I was just going to jump on for about 30 minutes, but these questions were so amazing. I really appreciate it. I want to remind you guys that if you are part of the YouTube membership, the middle tier and higher, this Tuesday we're going to be having class with Maitland. She will come directly through and she's going to talk to you about the fluorite and the lemon quartz and the apatite that she feels are the best frequencies in crystal form to support you for June, and go over more about those chakras that are challenged, needed, and supported. So that's going to be fun. And to remind you that if you really want to learn to communicate with spirit and trance channel, specifically channeling spirit, please check out my Approaching Trance Channeling series. It starts July 3rd. It happens on Wednesdays at noon, Eastern Standard Time. So you can just kind of wrap your head around that. You don't have to be live, but I do request that you watch weekly and do the homework. But if you're live, I come before and hang out after so we can ask questions and get to what's holding you up or what's propelling you and really get in and talk about that. If you are wanting to learn more about energy, again, my chakra charts are 2-for-1 now over on the website. Has all the chakras on it, as well as we have energy healing on Learn It Live, like every other Friday, and have Reiki classes coming up. Reiki 1 is happening June 11th, and then Reiki 2 is going to be July 9th. So if you really want to study it, I would love to be your teacher. I'm fascinated by educating people, and just having the place where I can talk about what I see and engage with on a daily basis is incredible, because I spent a large majority of my life not being able to talk about it just because, wasn't ready. But now it's so much fun. So I like to take the mystery out of it. I like to normalize energy awareness and spiritual awakening. Hence, it's not woo-woo. It's true. If you like these kind of topics, please hit the thumbs up, hit the notification bell so you know when I go live next time. And final reminder, on Instagram, I will not direct message anyone. We have some fake accounts out there who claim that I want to give you a reading and I've looked at your photo and I see the energy around it. It's not me. I only have one account. I'm not opening up any others, and I won't direct message you, just to let you know. I appreciate you guys holding the space for all of this. You guys are awesome. Vlad says Reiki's life-changing. Thank you for saying that I'm an awesome teacher. I enjoy it. I want to do more of it. If there were more people who would show up for classes, I would absolutely offer more. Vanessa, I hit the thumbs up as soon as I'm notified. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Vanessa. I love it. Colleen, thank you so much for being here. Take care, everybody. Have a beautiful rest of your Friday. Choose happiness, right? When you got an opportunity, choose the one that's going to bring you more joy. Bye.